Navigating out of pastoral ministry and into the next season of your life and shifting to another church or moving on to a whole nother career is a very challenging season. I'm
Mm.
here with Pastor James Blair, who has just recently, about 6 or 7 weeks ago, transitioned out of his church and is entering into a brand new season of his life. So, James, what were the key factors that influenced your decision to finish pastoring in your church?
Okay, first of all, when we started ministry, we had said to the board, it's a 3-year assignment. That 3 years became nearly 6 years, which is totally okay. But we were feeling the wear and tear of the COVID dilution and then the slow recovery. That was one part of it. So coupled with the fact that our assignment had ended, but also we had a sense of new doors opening for us, and that so these three things really spoke to us that now is the time to do something.
Yeah, so it was a combination, I guess, of your sense of, I think our season here is finishing, maybe some levels of tiredness as well, which most
Yep.
pastors, well, I think all pastors experience that post-COVID, but also that opportunity to move into something. Now, I know successions and transitions. I've been through a couple myself
Mm.
and do consulting for them. They are emotionally complex. There's no doubt about that. And we often underestimate the emotional side of this. I know I did when I transitioned out of my church. Even though I'd
Mm.
been warned this would be emotional, I said, yeah, I get it. But it took me more by surprise, to be honest. How has the journey affected you emotionally?
Yeah, well, first of all, we wanted to do the transition well, and
Mm,
so that meant time, and that meant patience, and that meant holding your emotions actually in check. And I guess second, you know, you couldn't wear those on your sleeve.
mm.
Um, it meant that if we were going to plan a transition, we needed the other party coming in to be able to get their head around what it would mean as well. We also, because we had about 5 options, we wanted to make sure that what we were leading the church into would be the right fit, the right culture. So you do all of that first of all for the church, and then I think there's a secondary consideration of yourself. Our Because we were tired, we were already geared to want to move because God was beginning to open up other doors for us. We were okay stepping into the season ourselves. The
Mm.
primary consideration was that the church would be okay through it.
Yeah, I think that's a great motive to have in transitions and succession is making sure your church moves in it. And I love a couple of your thoughts there, James, about taking the time, having
Mm.
patience, and that can be tiring and challenging at times. But I think as shepherds, we really have to, I think, nail down that impatience, that let's get on with it feeling and actually
Yeah.
regulate our emotions. And I love that thought. Don't wear your emotions on your sleeve. You have to process them with the right people at the right time. And that
Yeah.
might mean you need a confidant or a consultant or someone that you can just sit with and work through how you're feeling so that your church is not wearing it. The church is not looking at you going, oh my goodness, they're not coping with this.
Yeah.
What else is going on? How have you coped with the levels of fear and uncertainty about the next stage? Is it more an exciting space for you, or does it have a sense of dread around it? How are you kind of working into the next season of your life?
Oh, we were really keen to start the next phase, and this is something that God's been on our has had for us for quite a long time. I mean, this is at least a 15-year calling that we're stepping into, and I even have links back to before becoming a Christian that I felt a draw towards what we're stepping into, which is moving up into Asia to make a difference around some churches and be there. For us, uh, in relation to the church, we didn't want to have our we couldn't allow our heart to leave too soon because you've still got to carry the
Mm,
church while other ministers are coming in. However, we also didn't want to, and I think this leads into the next thing I know we want to talk about, is we didn't want to allow our hearts to stay too long, right? So there
Mm,
was a definite sense of our assignment here is coming to an end, and even the concept of an assignment rather than an ownership
mm,
or a right, just that we're
mm,
stewards of God's house. And if I go back to when we first took the job, we called it an assignment, and we said, okay, we're happy to come and give our lives for this time, but it will come to an end at some stage. We said that not even knowing really what we were going to be going into next.
mm,
Um, but we knew that we had to take time. We knew that as we were transitioning, it would be different, and the new incoming leaders and new incoming organization would look at things that have been set up, and they might go,
mm,
wow, that's amazing, never seen it better. But really we thought more realistically they would say, wow, we just need to make some adjustments around the place. So I'd
yeah.
have to can some things, shelve some things, update some things. We knew that they would make changes, and we were always going to be okay with them making those changes. We I guess we weren't precious about the things that we'd
Mm.
built.
And I think your heart and your spirit of that sense of stewardship and assignment, that this is mine to keep and to hang on to forever, and kind of you have
Mm,
to tear it out of my cold, dark, damp hands sort of approach to it. I think that probably is a really good way to actually make sure you move out well. And I think
yep.
that the flip side of that is that you've got something that you're going into that's very exciting for you. And the Bridge
Mm,
to Asia, the ministry that you're doing, it's business and ministry. It's very exciting, and it's probably occupying a lot of your thinking in the last months of leading your church. So I think if you're thinking transition, Pastor, I spend an awful lot of time contemplating, meditating, thinking about, gee, what is next? What am I going
mm,
to do? And flesh it out. Move it from a
yep.
wish and an idea to a real practical strategy on that. And James, it sounds like you've handled really well the temptation to go back and meddle. And I think, Pastor, I would say to you, if you're contemplating succession, you'll be tempted to go back and meddle with what the incoming pastor is doing in your church. But if you've got something to throw yourself fully into, you probably won't have the time or the energy to
Mm.
even go back and do that. So I think follow James's model. I think were really helpful to you. What would you say to pastors who are watching today and thinking about transition, and maybe they're 5 years away from it, maybe 2 years away from it? What advice would you give to them, those who are contemplating transition?
Yeah, well, that's I first of all, I've always understood that God called me, not an
Mm,
organization, not a church board, that he's the one who tapped me for ministry and serving. So I used to think that was always just tied to one location, right? And that God's will could only be found in one place. But that I found that to be so limiting, and I think even it's I think she sells God's calling on our lives short, right? I've
mm,
given him my whole life, which means every season is his, every
mm,
place is his, every good season, every bad season, every the newness of life is his. And given that he's a creator, um, with all that in mind, I've been able to look forward into, been able to look beyond where I'm at now, be able to look forward into what he has for me, and even dream, and even imagine how these things could be, and prayerfully, carefully with Donna around friends, bounce these things off, and allow God to be yeah, the author of our faith, and right up to the end. I mean, I still think I've got 15 years in me,
mm.
and so I'm allowing him to be the author and the finisher of my faith. I think he's a far better author than we give him credit for, and and
Yeah,
and it's very exciting to be taking a step of faith without
yeah.
certainty. I mean, at times I go, This is not all sorted, but that's okay. That's the substance of faith, isn't it?
That's right. And I think it's so important that to think about life after ministry can be challenging, but can be exciting. Check out this interview I did with Carl Mutzelberg of life after ministry for him and the challenges and also the excitement of that particular phase of life. James goes super well in this next season of ministry. And thanks for joining us today.
Thanks so much, John. Love you, mate.